All right, welcome back again. This is my third video of the night. We are back with The Man in the High Castle. We are doing season 2, episode 2, The Road Less Traveled. So, spoilers are all over this. So, if you haven't seen it, definitely go check this out and then come back here and watch this. So, all right, Juliana is on the run from Gary, who is completely unhinged. Um, Maybe a little too much. I mean, yeah, Karen's dead. I don't know. Lem keeps telling him, like, you're going too far. I don't know why Lem doesn't just say, hey, fuck her. He tries to, actually. I mean, I don't know why Gary's got such a hard on for Juliana. Maybe he knows more than uh, what he's saying, letting on. And, like, the guy, Stephen Root's character, he made it sound like Juliana not knowing who that person was in the picture and things like that, that she's kind of causing the trouble. Um, so, and I think she realizes that, but I think she's trying to change her fate, trying to change her destiny. And as Tagomi says later to her, that you may be compounding tragedy. So that's something. I mean, she could be just a fool, trying to change uh, history or whatever it is she's trying to do. She's trying to change her destiny, but who knows? Maybe you can't. Um, so she's trying to get back, and she meets this poor guy, and I swear, just tell the guy why you're out there. You're putting his life in mortal danger, and she's just like, oh, my boyfriend. I mean, I know she runs the risk of not getting a ride. But if the cost of getting a ride leads to this guy getting killed because you didn't tell him the truth, I mean, my boyfriend and I got into a fight. Yeah, if you tell him that you just escaped a fucking Japanese ambush, he may drive away from you, but at least you wouldn't have his death on your conscience. That being said, he doesn't die, but it's just that kind of the repercussions, you know, they don't really think about. Is kind of annoying a little bit. Um, and this guy's a nice guy. He's like an old medic from like a MASH unit, and his purpose is just there to, I don't know, be the everyman that wishes he could do more. Um, and we have Frank, who is, him and poor old antique dealer are locked up now by the Yakuza. Uh, they Frank says that he can, he wants to make a deal for Ed, that he can make stuff for the Yakuza, and that it wasn't his fault that Joe Blake went all, gun crazy and killed his men. Um, and this poor antique dealer again, I'm just like, he's just like getting dragged through this. It has nothing to do with him. And fucking Frank, man, is creating this situation. His revenge and everything is justified, but he's pulling this poor guy along for the ride, and he has nothing to do with it. Um, but the Yakuza find like their leverage is crazy, so they go to Keto and say you got to let Ed go, and so and Keto is pissed, man. And he's got some good stuff in this episode because he's with that general who's trying to impress some American girls by telling them war stories. I don't even know if he really cares if he's impressing them. He likes to hear himself talk. The one girl though says some interesting things to Keto, and I don't. He's not. He's a very very serious man, and since she's American and a woman, she's saying some things that he's looking at her like. "Ooh." But when she says to him, if you're like never really there, if you're always on duty and you're never really, uh, you know, in the moment, like, are you ever really, if you're not really, if your mind is elsewhere, how are you ever really anywhere? How are you ever really taking anything in? And he gives her this, he's got that dead eyes, but it kind of got to him. She's kind of lucky though. I mean, there were a couple of looks there where it looked like he was just gonna go, but he gets a phone call, um, and it's to the ambush site where Karen got killed, and so he's like on the warpath, and you got Open Grouper Fearsmith, who's back from Germany. I love the lady's little drink, little drinking party where he comes in, and even in a relaxed situation, Smith is like on duty, as well as like Keto, where the one lady, he asks what is it he walked in on, and she's talking about daffodils, and he's saying, well, I've noticed, how good she avoids, like how she deflects or hides what they're really talking about. And it's like, yeah, he's kidding, but he's not kidding. Like, it's just dark. And he tells his wife, about Hitler, his real problems. And so, and that he's got this mission, and you know where that mission's going to lead him. And that's to Joe, who's just trying to live a normal life, which, come on, were we really going to watch the whole second season of him just sitting on his, doing construction work and hanging out with a lady that he cares about but doesn't love. So eventually, yeah, Smith shows up at his door, tells him his dad wants to see him in Berlin, and yeah, Smith is blowing smoke up his ass partially, but Joe knows that he says that he doesn't have to go, but it's one of those, you don't have to go. Yeah, you do. Yes you do, but no you don't. Yes you do. So he leaves. She's, Rita's like, don't come back, which is fine, he knows that what he's doing, so he's off to Berlin. Frank, in the meantime, they do let Ed out. They blame the dead resistance lady, Karen, for the prince's death, which is just crazy. They can just blame anybody. And the scene, I got to give it up to DJ Qualls, because that scene where Keto tells him, hey, your confession's here. Yeah, you're going to die, but we're also going to kill Frank. We're going to kill your dad. We're going to kill everybody at the factory. And this is Keto's way of getting him to go back on his confession so that they can let him go, so that Keto can say, hey, he's got to dot the I's and cross the T's. He can't just let this guy go. He has to, come up with a reason for this guy to retract his confession, so then he can let him go. And Ed's reaction and just the whole, no, you enjoy this, and just, no, and I could have died with some dignity and all that. It was really good acting right there. But again, Keto just playing it. Fucking badass. I mean, he's a bad dude, but man, he's also badass at the same time. Tagomi going into the secret library where they have all these forbidden books. Him wanting to look into religious experiences, because that's pretty much what he had. I mean, he asked his assistant to look up Lolita and Cuban Missile Crisis, things like that. So it's his little teleportation to whatever. It wasn't planned, so he's just as confused as everybody else. It's not like he's, some sort of experienced time traveler or reality jumper. Now we got Juliana on the run. She's gets to her parents' house. She's trying to tell them they gotta leave. She also finds out who that guy was that she was supposed to remember. His name is, I believe, George Dixon, who it turns out to be Trudy's real dad. But Arnold and her mother, they're not leaving. They give her some money so that she can bail, just as Gary and Lem are there to kill her. They also went to Frank's place, and I guess Juliana kind of suspected that they would be there and gave like a fake message to lead them off her trail for a little while. But man, they are right on her fucking toes. I mean, they're like right there at the house. So it's like, man, she spent a lot of time fucking dicking around at the house, because they were literally breaking in as she was walking out. she tries to go to Tagomi, who can't help her, because this is where he talks about her compounding tragedy. Her trying to change things is possibly doing that. But again, the connection's there. I know he wishes he could help her, but he can't. Um, and this is where, okay, I can't remember what happens. I'm pretty much at a blank, like a complete blank on season 2, I think. Because I didn't remember her going to the Nazis and asking for Joe Blake and that she needs asylum. And that was a pretty intense scene, you know, the Japanese coming for her, the Nazis got their guns, everybody's got their guns pointed at her. And she slides in and tells them that she needs asylum. I don't know what her plan is. They want her dead. And Open Group reviewer Smith even says that somebody's there has been shot, who I think he's talking about Karen, but they want her dead. So whatever she's got to tell them has got to be worth keeping her alive. Now I know she doesn't die, but damn, walking into the Nazi headquarters, man, you better have a goddamn good idea what you're doing. So that's it. That's the end of this episode. Kind of a quick video, but oh well. So can't wait to see what happens next. I'm gonna have to wait till tomorrow to watch that because it's time for bed. Another long day of work ahead of me, but I will get to another episode tomorrow. So this is Rob for Spring Gun Reviews saying if you like this video, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. Again, we hit 190 subscribers. We're only 10 away from 200. That's incredible. So again, I want to thank the support for everybody who watches this, and we will see you on the next video. Bye.